So now that we've gone through and we've organized all of our files in their appropriate events, and now we've also created favorites and rejected functions for each one of those clips to narrow them down even further, we can actually go even beyond that. If you remember in the earlier stages, I had you all erase those blue keyword collections that were in the original event. And what I want to do is I want to create those manually now. So what is a keyword collection? What that allows us to do is it allows us to go into our events. We have them select as favorites, but we can actually subgroup them even further. And it allows us to create keyword collections inside of this event. You can almost think of keyword collections as a sub-event or a subfolder within that event. So how do we create those? We need to go down to this icon, and what this allows us to do is it allows us to open up a keyword collection editor. And when we open that up, it's blank. So we have about 9 banks to choose from, and then we have also a main bank here that we can use as we go. So to do this, let's go into our B-roll event just to get a little bit more specific. As you can see in our B-roll event here, so we kind of want to maybe narrow this down even further. As you can see, they're already labeled pretty well, for each clip. But what if we want to get to specific categories of each one of these? It's really easy. So for instance, I'm going to select some clips that I want to create a keyword collection for. So let's find all the clips that have BD, and I'm just going to command click each one that BD is in that we might want to use for our B-roll. And I'm just selecting these because what I want to do is I want to find all the clips with BD and narrow them down even further. And I think we might have just about everything that was labeled like that. And that's great. So now what I can do is, it looks like we might have some, nope, this isn't BD, great. So all of our BD dash clips here, we want to now create a keyword collection. So to make it very easy, once you have all of your clips highlighted, now you could just type in a name of the keyword collection that you want to use. And I'm just going to name this BD farming. And this is going to be all of my clips, my B-roll clips of him farming. And once you type this in the bank here, now you can click enter. And when you do that, now each one of these clips has a blue line on it right above inside of the clip. And it's almost like our favorites, but now what it does is now we've created a BD farming bank keyword collection. And when I go into this event here, we have a gray disclosure triangle. And when we click on this triangle, now it opens up and it has a keyword collection inside of it that says BD farming from what we named it. And when I click on this, now only the BD dash farming clips are shown inside of this B-roll event. Everything else has not been shown because it hasn't been given a keyword collection. But they're still there. When we go into event, we could see all of those clips. So now all we're doing is we're narrowing down our clips further so that it makes organization even easier. So think of our main event here. And inside of that, we have subfolders, which are called keyword collections, and they allow us to organize our files even further. So I'm going to go through and do this a little bit more. And let's find some, oh, you know what? I actually missed one here, which is good. So see, we have BD carries box in field. What's great about typing these in here, when you have open slots here, open banks, when you type them in, it'll actually create one after the next one. So we still have BD farming here. And what's nice about it is I missed one here. It's no problem. I can actually select this. And what I can do is all I need to do is now click on where it says Control 1 here. And it's also a keyboard command where we can actually select Control 1 or click this icon button here, and it'll automatically put whatever bank it says here into this clip and add that. So now I'll click this, and as soon as I did that, now that was created inside of this clip here. So you can use these banks as further options for later clips. And if you've forgotten any, it's very easy to recreate those. So now I have that, and now that has been added into the BD farming keyword collection. So essentially, the easiest way to think about this is keyword collections are subfolders inside of our event, and we can easily create categories within that. So now let's go further, okay? And let's find some vegetable and some fruit and vegetable clips here. I'm going to command click on these here. And let's see, let's find some shots here. That's perfect. Here we got some more of these clips. And we're just finding there's some various herbs and fruits. This is good. And we'll just say for now that those are them. Oh, we have some fruit here. That's good. So now we can type in either in this slot here or in our next bank. I'm just going to name fruit and veggies. And now all I need to do is click this or hit enter, and those highlighted clips will now contain the fruit and veggies keyword collection. So watch when I click, and those have now been created. And as you can see, automatically it adds the fruit and veggies keyword collection inside of this event. This is really, really useful. So as you can see, now we have our fruit and veggies all organized in their own keyword collection. Now, why is this so cool? Well, originally we had all of our B-roll clips inside of the B-roll event, but we have a lot of B-roll. So the problem is you have to sift through a lot of clips, especially if you know what clips you want to use. So being able to create keyword collections for these and narrowing them down even further is really easy, and also makes it very convenient to sift through because everything's organized within it. And as I mentioned before, we can add these to our clips that we've already selected as favorites. So for instance, in this interview here, we have BD talking about the introduction of his farm. So what we can do is we can call this farm introduction. And then, or if I could spell, that'd be even better. Introduction. There we go. Perfect. And now I can just click this or hit enter or select Control 3, which I'll do now. Control 3. And now that has been added to our clip, which we made a favorite already. And now that I've created that farm introduction keyword, I can open up interviews, and it is now inside of our event. And what's great is now we have farm introduction, so I can just click on this, and that's been narrowed down. Now, if these start to fill up, no problem. Doesn't mean that you can only use these 9 banks. You can always just write them inside of this default bank here, and that works out really well. A lot of times I might want to create banks ahead of time that I know I'm going to use. Maybe something a little bit more specific. If it's a wedding video, maybe I will create a bank for dancing. Maybe I'll create a bank for interviews if people are talking. Maybe I'll create a bank for various activities during the wedding, that sort of thing. But for a documentary like this, you can get even more specific and actually name your clips a specific keyword, and it really does make things a lot easier to sift through. So that's very, very cool. And if you want to get rid of a keyword collection, you can easily right click on the keyword and delete keyword collection. And you can also go into remove all keywords for that selected clip, and it will get rid of those as well. So really powerful stuff, and I think this will really help you out, going through and organizing your files.